what's up, everybody? We back at it again with another episode of I.A Christianated. We're your hosts. I'm Alex.
And I'm Isaiah.
Thank you for joining us for another episode. We about to get into it.
Yes, appreciate y'all for coming back and tuning in. I got a couple of little quick questions for you, Alex. What is your gender?
I'm a man. I'm a male.
I know it's 2024. I had to clarify that before.
Yeah, I identify as a male.
Him,
his.
Him, he,
him,
her?
he. Yeah, not her. No,
her.
Him.
Okay, gotcha. Just making sure.
Him.
So given that, right, we are Christians.
Correct.
Which means we live by the Bible, right? But we're also humans in that we live in this world and that we operate within this world, right? By God's will. And sometimes those can be two very contradicting ideals, and it's something that we have to battle with and kind of go back and forth about within our lives. So given that you identify as a male, a boy, a man, a young man, and we live according to the Bible, but within the world, what are some contradicting things and some differences that the world says about being a man versus what the Bible says about being a man?
Oh, that's a great question. All right, so let's get into it. I say I'll start off with the world just really quick, just to give a quick little stab into it.
I'll help you out with that.
Okay, but so I say it's tough, especially with what the world says being a man, because in today's world, when you really got to navigate not through how you feel about yourself as a man, but then what everybody else thinks you're supposed to be as a man too. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta try to make everybody happy sometimes. But like today, the world says like to be a man, probably you gotta be provider, be able to take care of your family. You gotta be like rich. You can't be no broke boy. Like you know what I'm saying? Like also on top of that, like you just gotta you gotta have your money. You can't show no emotion. Like nonchalant. Can't cry. Can be heavy. Always gotta just be like I'm Alex. And then just be with it. But
sound like
really,
Batman right there. Batman.
That's really how it is though. Like it's hard to there's a lot of also like negative energy in terms of like what the world says a man can or cannot be. So it can always be really hard to like navigate and kind of like figure out for yourselves, okay, like is this actually what it is to be a man, or like am I doing this so other people are like okay with who I am? You know what I mean? When in reality, does that really even matter?
Exactly. That's really key. Does that really even matter? And a lot of this world operates off of just social media and what other people see and what's shown out there. And like you said, to add on to those things, there's so many things about men. Not being emotional, having to provide, take care of everything, always making the first move, doing this, that, and the third. Like can't be sassy. There's a sassy man apocalypse.
Yeah, for sure. We gonna get into that later for sure. Believe that.
Right?
Believe that.
You only go but on so many first dates. It's so many parameters and so many qualifications for being a man that has nothing to do with the man itself.
That's right.
Right? Because the man itself is who you are as a person, your qualities, your soul. But everything has been so predicated on environmental, material factors that I think it's kind of tough to really like try to see what a man is, and people are like selling out. A lot of men are having all these conflicted issues on who they really are as a person because they can't make these material factors or beat these quote unquote numbered needs that are out there put for men. And I think for me personally, when I've seen, that is the biggest difference between being a man by the world standards and by the Bible standards. The world focuses on the external. What can you give? What can you bring? What can you do? Can you meet this mark? Are you over 6 foot? Do you make 6 figures? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you make over 6 figures? Can you do that in a third? Do you cry? Are you able to beat up whoever I need you to be up when something happens, when something goes down?
Always got to stand on business.
Like, you got to stand on business, right? But that's the part of being a man. We're going to get into that later. But it's like, but you look at the Bible focuses on, okay, who are you as a person? How can you lead? How do you lead, right? A lot of times I've noticed also in this world, they just kind of throw words out there that are truly trying to define them or truly having a reason for using them, How do you lead? How do you create that safe space for you and your family and your wife and your partner, And
yeah, that's right.
That's just me personally. What about you?
No, I really think we should dive into that, honestly. I know we were talking about this earlier about like a few verses about what the Bible itself says a man should be. I mean, obviously, could you pull up, I believe it was 1 Timothy chapter 3 for me.
Yeah, I got
I had a few verses in there. I know you got some great ones you want to talk about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to, I found myself personally, when it comes to the Bible being a man, like it's more just about, in like a humble way, what you can do for others, like in terms of providing, So I'm about to dig into it for a second. All right. So 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 2 through about 5, it looks like. Therefore, an overseer must be a I'm sorry. Therefore, an overseer must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, and able to teach. Not a drunkard, not a violent, but gentle. Not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. He must manage his own household well, with dignity, keeping his children submissive. For if someone does not know how to manage his own household, how will he care for God's church?
Well, you would have thought we set this up on purpose. Everything we like everything we just talked about, right? Not violent, but gentle,
Yeah.
right? Not quarrelsome, not a lover of money.
Self-controlled.
But all this world talks about is how much money can you make? Are you
Mhm.
able to do this? Will you fight for me? You know, I can't have no soft man. He can't be sassy. He can't do this, that, and the third, right? Now there is a level. There's a difference between being,
There's
gentle.
checks and balances.
Yeah,
Checks and
there's always
balances.
checks and balances.
Absolutely.
There's a fine line between being, sassy, necessarily soft per se, and gentle, but it's just so interesting the contradicting mindsets and ideals from some things in the Bible and then some things in the world as well.
Not for
Like,
real.
Another verse. Well, actually, no, I'll save this verse for a little bit later. But
Okay.
one verse, another one is in Titus 2. It talks about older men and younger men, and kind of that aspect of how older men should be and how they should teach younger men to be. It starts off with Titus 2, verse 2. I'm reading from the English Standard Version, by the way. Older men are to be sober-minded, dignified, self-controlled, sound in faith, in love, and in steadfastness. I see a lot of this self-controlled and sober-minded word.
Yes, it's really a reoccurring theme.
Very
Especially,
much
I really think self-control is a big thing too, because especially in today's world, we can get tested as a man a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that a man can and cannot do just based off the fact that you're a man in general,
Bro,
right?
what,
And self-control, that's extreme. That's a big part of just staying disciplined, staying true to yourself, who God tells you that you are as a man, that you're supposed to be self-controlled, stay sober-minded, be a provider, love, take care of people. Don't just lash out, scream, yell, try and get your point across. You're supposed to lead the right way, lead in a Christly manner as a man, because we seen more often than not, we seen as leaders just in our natural role, as a husband, as a leader of the house. You know what I'm saying? Or for us, we the oldest sons, we just seen as a leader to our younger siblings, because that's just the role that we stepped into. Exactly.
And another key aspect of that is that self-control, that sober-mindedness. The things that you can't control yourself against, or that you let kind of run your life, you become a slave to, right? And we're in a world where everything is so accessible, and there's so many distractions out there, and it's so key that you stay sober-minded and you stay self-controlled, right? You can open up any app right now and just see, good God knows what,
Yeah, a lot of these apps really be the devil's playground.
Literally, between
Twitter's
sexual
terrible.
desires. Oh, good.
We got Salim behind the camera shaking his head.
Man, we're not even get started on Twitter.
Yeah, for real.
I say you see so many sexual temptations, and it's so many different ways that they're pushing men to try to escape. And it's so many different types of distractions, and being self-disciplined and sober-minded is the only way to go about it. That's the only way to be in your proper mindset, to be able to stand against the temptations of the devil and continue to be what God called you to be.
Yeah.
Because if you're becoming a slave to these things, they kind of run what you do. You're always chasing that high. You're chasing that feeling.
Yeah.
You're chasing that validation or whatever they got going on social media. You're not focusing on what your true job is, what God's will is for you to do.
That's right.
These are all temporary solutions to permanent and deep problems. Yeah, these holes with us. We're all incomplete. We need God to fill that hole. But we're looking for these other things based off the world, because there's an interesting parable I've always learned. I learned about a while ago. I think I saw some pastor preach about it. I forgot who right now, but I'll try to give you a shout out later on. If you don't define something for your child, the world will. Right? If you don't show your children or show children in the biblical way or the right way of defining something, then the world will. If you don't teach your children about certain genders or sexualities or about sex, this, that, and the third, they're going to go to school. Somebody else will. They're either going to find it on their phone somewhere nowadays, or it'll be taught in a class. And then whatever that information will be, that's what they'll base everything else off of. It's a lot harder to wane them off of something than to institute them the right way from the jump. So that's why that older verse is so important, because it goes right into the next verse. A few verses down, Titus 2 again, verses 6 to 8. It talks about the flip side with younger men. It says, likewise, urge the younger men to be self-controlled, Show yourself in all respects to be a model of good works, and in your teaching, show integrity, dignity, and sound speech that cannot be condemned, so that an opponent may be put to shame, having nothing evil to say about us.
Mm.
That's what should be being pushed in our young men. But a lot of times we get so focused on what the world requires, what the world desires, what the world needs, that we're pushing the wrong ideals, the wrong focus in our young men's eyes, and that leads a lot of
Yeah.
us to be lost. You know.
It comes. I feel like it comes a lot with like pride too. Just saying, like, hey, like this dude made fun of you. You gotta go fight him. Like you can't stand on none of that.
Yeah.
But I feel
Yeah.
like personally, like it takes a bigger man to walk away than it does to actually like stand there and like be somebody or get beat. Like that just depends on
Yeah.
who it is. But like it
Easier
takes a
said than
bigger man
done
to
for
walk
sure.
away.
Yeah, easier said than done for sure. Like I've been in a few fights in my
Yeah,
league,
me too.
it's hard.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't always the bigger man.
yeah. But yeah, but
but
I feel like there also is a fine line between like being there, fighting for your respect, or doing what needs to be done, rather than just kind of feeding into some banter. Like there's a lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
times where
that's a great
there's a
point.
lot of fights that can be walked away from, right? But there are some
Yeah,
times where like even Jesus got angry. He had to flip some tables when he saw the wrong thing going on, right? And I
that's
think
very true.
there's a very fine line from that. And a part of that is, like I said, learn how to be self-controlled and respect yourself, being a model of good works. So you feel me, showing integrity and dignity. When people cross that line, then that's when you can step up and do what needs to be done to prove a point, right? I think a lot of times we get to take it too far, or we're not controlled, we lose ourselves in it. What
Yeah,
goes on, you trying to show your respect, turns into you wilding out, getting angry, and murdering somebody. Now you're in jail for 20 years. That's where you go too far,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Like that's where that self-control aspect comes in, rather than you handling the situation, expressing your opinion, doing what has to be done, and then being able to walk away and make sure everybody's good, everybody is healthy in their end. But a lot of times we lose that
Okay.
self-control, lose that
hmm
sober-mindedness, we can become slaves to and then trapped to these new ideals and these things that the world pushes as what's really important, when it really has nothing to do with what you are as a man at all whatsoever.
That's a very good point. And now I got a question I kind of want to run by you. So like we've been speaking on like what the world says about being the man, and definitely sort of comes according like to the Bible how we supposed to actually truly behave. So to you, what does it mean to be man, or like what are the key characteristics of a man that you feel like are essential? You get what I'm
Yeah,
putting?
that's a
All right, cool.
very, very deep and loaded question. To me personally, from what I've experienced in my life and what I've seen in the Bible, what I've read, to me, a big part of being a man is, I guess, I'm trying to find the perfect words for it, but one way to just kind of put it on together is just standing on business. You know, like having integrity. Doing the right thing no matter what because it's the right thing. You know, being that example, right? You a lot as men, to whom much is given, much is required. Like
Yeah.
we're biologically built different. We're biologically stronger. We go through a lot. We go through more in certain situations because we have more required upon us. If we're if you're stronger than somebody, or you have a bigger advantage in a certain situation, then it's your job to help out the lower people, bring them up. We're not just called. We're called to go out there and set the standard, and to pull the rest of the people with us. We're called to lead. We're called to protect. We're called to provide. Right.
hmm
And a lot of times people think of that in a material sense, right? Like protect, you gotta fight. Provide, you gotta bring home money. Sometimes providing can be opening a space for vulnerability, providing a healthy conversation, providing ways for people to grow, and protecting somebody's peace, protecting somebody's heart, protecting um somebody's mindset, the way somebody is. There's so many levels to that we can get deeper into, but
hmm
to me, being a man is protecting, providing, like I said, being who you are no matter what. Morals have a lot to do with it. Standing on business, and that you're going to be you no matter what, and you're going to do what needs to be done because it's the right thing to do.
All right. Now I got another question for you too. I'm sorry. This actually, truth, like this just came to me now because hearing your answer kind of gave me gave me memories back from high school when I was in religion class, right? So I can give some insight to it later, but for now, I want to hear your answer. In your opinion, when do you believe a boy becomes a man? Like, what's that like rite
Mm-hmm.
of passage, or like what is the?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe boy starts to become a man when he can stand up for himself in the face of opposition,
Mm.
right? Like a drastic example is like Captain America, right? And the Avengers. First of all, if you're an Avengers fan or a Marvel fan, Team Cap all the way. Just personally, I'm just putting that out there, right? But you know, Thanos' his entire army, right, was there ready to take over and fight for these last stones and destroy the world. Captain America was by himself. He said, "I'm gonna fight and I'm not gonna give up because this is the right thing to do."
He had a
You know,
broken shield, have a
broke
chin strap.
right, broken shield, have a chin strap.
Avengers Endgame, if you haven't seen it,
Yeah,
but we
bloody
plugging the wrong
and
thing.
battered.
But like,
yeah, nah, right.
but like, that's a tough movie. That's a great reference, actually.
Exactly, like
I like
bloody
your
and
answer.
battered. But he said, I can do this all day. What he do? He tied his little strap. It was ready. He said, I'm saying like even if you gotta kill me, I'm gonna down this hill. I'm gonna fight this. Right? Like I look at Jesus, right? No matter what they said about him, this, that, and the third, all they did, he stood on what he said. He didn't say, okay, y'all about to kill me. Okay, you know what, y'all got it, whatever. He went all the way up until he was killed and beaten and battered, until he was physically unrecognizable.
Mm.
When you recognize a greater purpose and you're unshaken in that purpose and you're willing to do whatever you have to do to achieve that purpose and achieve that goal, it doesn't matter who's going against you. That's what makes a man to me, for one. Well, for one, that's one part of it. You also started to go from a boy to a man when you fully submit yourself to God. You know, we're called to. We can't continue to lead and show people the right way if we don't know the right way ourselves. You have to submit yourselves under God, and that takes away, for one, pride, and it gives you the right example in your life to be able to do things that you need to be doing when you submit yourself to God. And then three, it's this quote I saw on Instagram a while ago. I've heard from a couple of father figures in my life that really hit me, and it's deep. It says, "Those who are behind you, protect them. Those who fight alongside you, respect them. And those against you, show no mercy."
Mm.
And that's really been vital and key for me in just being a man. If those who are willing to stand beside you, you respect them with all your life. Those who are behind you, who you're over, you're not over in the sense of like you're like down.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? But those like who are standing there ready to be behind you and are behind you, supporting everything you do.
Yeah, support.
You protect them with all your life. No greater love is that than that a man should lie down his life for his friend.
Right.
If we are the bride, we're the body of Christ. Jesus came down to die for us. You should be willing to take that first bullet. You should be willing to be vulnerable, put yourself out there, put yourself out on the line. As a man, we set the precedent. We're the ones that are supposed to be vulnerable first. We should be always, for the most part, should be taking the first step in most actions in life. And for me, that's kind of, I can go deeper into it, but I know we don't have all day. So those are kind of like my main like precedents for what it means to be a man. What about you?
So
I'm sorry. What turns a boy to a man when you can do those things?
okay, so now I'll give you a little bit. I'll try and sum it up too, like a quick backstory. So basically, in that religion class, this was my senior year. Um, my teacher, he like asked us. He always said like, yes, this class like every year, like beginning of the year, just because we seniors, we better go into like the real world, college, all that stuff. When does a boy become a man? Now you hear a lot of guys say like, when like they lose their virginity, or like when they get their first kiss, or like a bunch of just like really like things. But um, then like after like everybody, like the high school kids giving their high school answers, like my teacher goes, nah, like really when a boy becomes a man is when he realizes that like he's responsible for like more than like his life is he's responsible for more than other people than just himself. You feel what I'm saying? Like his life with him and what he does is responsible for other people's. Like he has to, like according to like the Bible, we supposed to be providers, take care, lead, be responsible, sober minded, self controlled, like self aware, all these things. You feel what I'm saying? And like
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but literally a verse that I had saved up for later. It's a lot of verses that I had saved up, but one part in particular I just looked down at, and it ties exactly what you just said. Ephesians 5, verse 28. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. But for no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ does the church.
mm. How'd that spark into your mind?
You were just talking about how, right, valuing other lives as yourself. Like as a man, you having a wife, she is just your body as well, right?
That's
Like
right.
you literally have to value her
As you
above
value
right
yourself.
as you value
Yeah.
or even higher than you value yourself. You know, two of the biggest aspects that I forgot to mention earlier that you sparked to my mind from turning a boy into a man are responsibility and accountability. Accountability, being able to be held to do things that you need to get done, and be a responsibility. When you're able to take on responsibility of things bigger than yourself and you acknowledge that,
Mm-hmm.
big both. That's
I got you.
pretty vital
All right. So let's slide into the next topic then. All right. So today's how we were kind of talking about like manhood, masculinity, all these things, just like kind of everything that's going on with today's world, what it says to be a man. So let's talk about masculinity for a minute because I feel like even though to me they kind of go hand in hand, I still feel like there's some key differences. So I'll highlight mine, and you can attest to yours to see if
for me.
we see eye to eye or we can speak on it. So for me, masculinity, or like I guess like the difference between like being a man and then masculinity itself is like masculinity is how is like what you use to express how you are as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like how they'll say like men shouldn't wear pink or sometimes men don't cry or like show emotion or gosh, I'm trying to think of something else. Men can't go outside, walk around in skirts. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not a masculine thing to do. Why?
Yeah.
Because that's not how you yourself express. That's not how you express yourself as a man. Like we both sitting here in all black right now. That's just like a typical like guy thing to do. Like I don't know if that makes us more masculine because we're wearing all black, but it's not a I'll just say less masculine thing for not. I don't want to
It
like.
could be a cover up. It could be you feeling inadequate as a man, so you feel like you need to wear all black to be seen as a man.
That's exactly another point to masculinity. That doesn't have anything to do. I'm not gonna say masculinity doesn't have anything to do with being a man, but masculinity is a tool that you use to describe yourself or to express yourself as a man. That's kind of my take. How do you feel about that? Huh?
Yeah. Before I looked up the definition of masculinity. It is qualities or attributes regarded as characteristic of men or boys. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I kind of see that is like being a man is being a man. Masculinity is how you go about that, how you operate in that. What is that being of a man? What does that look like to you? That's where masculinity kind of comes in,
Mm-hmm.
for me personally. But like I said, a lot of times the world can define it as like visual things. Okay, like you said, okay, if he's wearing pink, that's not very man like. That's
Yeah,
sassy. He has
sassy.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You do certain things that's not very man like.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, they kind of go hand in hand because, like I said, you have your being a man, your masculinity. That's how you go about it, right? It's almost like you're being a Christian and then you act in Christ, like yes, you're a Christian. That's what you believe and that's what you are.
Mm-hmm.
How do you act that out? What qualities do you have that show that exude that show that you're that in the world? The same way, like we are men, we're young men. How do we exude that? What actions do we take? What characteristics do we carry that show us being a man?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they go hand in hand as well?
Yeah, I would say they do because really, I mean, I don't want to say this. I think masculinity more leans on. I mean, like, there's different types of men. Like, you don't have to be a masculine man. Like, not all men are masculine, but they're still a man. You know what I mean? So, but I believe masculinity leans on like manhood in terms of being a man and everything. Like, that's how I'd say they go hand in hand. But I don't necessarily think they're dependent on each other. That's kind of how I. That's kind of how I'd like put it into a box. But let's pivot into the next point too as well, just because I know we're trying to get through this. Sorry. Um, so we've been talking about like the world versus the Bible's point of views, scriptures, all that stuff. So, and we're both men of God. We're both also like black men in this world, nonetheless. So, like,
Mm.
how has being a man of God in this world, like following God, like learning who you are, how has that changed, or has your perspective of like how you are as a man changed at all? Can you
Yes,
speak to
and
that?
like I said, it's sorry to sound like a broken record, but it kind of ties right back into what we started off. Growing up, in the world, I'm like, okay, I gotta make this. I gotta get money. I gotta make this amount of money. I gotta be able to provide and protect. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. I gotta have these qualities, right? But the closer I've gotten to God, and the more I read what the Lord and what the Bible says about being a man, it went from external to internal, right? What do I have to fix within me to make sure I'm being a man at all times? What masculinity within me do I have to change? What do I have to look at, and how should I present myself? how should I act being a man? It turned everything, like I said, external to internal. It caused me to dive deep into myself and be more vulnerable. I have to be more comfortable with my emotions. I have to be gentle, be patient, be kind, and
Mm-hmm.
I have to be able to be they say it's like, it's better to be a gardener, a soldier in a garden than a gardener in a war. Like I have to be able to have that one side of me that can go and do what I need to do. But I need to be able to control it. Self control is the main problem. I can't just let loose and have it always on go, and I have to be in this one track mindset and emotionless and hard up. I can't do this. I got to be this certain way and bring home the bacon, this, that, and the third. I have to, like, in order, like, whatever I expect from my wife or from whoever's behind me, I have to exude that first.
Mm-hmm.
I have to lead first. I have to be vulnerable first. I have to set the precedent and set the bar, and then whoever else is there with me, my wife or whatever, they can come in and operate within what I've built.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I I have to go out there and I have to put myself out there. I have to have responsibility. I have to have accountability. I have to show the way. I have to lead the way. I have to be the way, and I have to fix that within myself, so that it's not just oh, I look like a man or you sound like a man. It's no, I am a man with how I act. I can not say a word. Somebody can just look at how the way I move, the way I operate, and say, okay, yeah, he's a man. He operates on that type of timing. The Bible just, like I said, it flipped the script. It made me look in the mirror. So looking at the world, looking at my pockets, looking at my room, whatever, seeing what I don't have. It's like, okay, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a man? Because that stuff will come later. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all things will be added unto you. It's a verse I say all the time, but it's really that key, right?
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the Lord, and the Lord will change me and fix me, and focus on myself. If I change myself as a man, then everything else that I need will come along with it. But if you just bring all these material things, yeah, it looks like it on the outside, but then when somebody truly gets to know you, or you're in those spaces where you need to be a man, you're gonna crumble, you're gonna fall because you're expecting these material things to make up for your lackness of being what you're really supposed to be, of being able to stand on business and get your responsibilities and your accountability done, and being able to lead and all that. I have to be that first, start internally, and then let it exude and let it come out. I
Right.
have to be a good tree so that I can bear good fruit. I can't expect to bear good fruit being a bad tree. You know.
Mm-mm.
What about you? Like, what about you? How is being a man of God affected or changed your views of being a man?
I would say for me personally, how my point of view changed. It changed from a really like selfish perspective to like a really selfless one. Not to say that I'm entirely selfless, like I don't, but anyways. um, so like for example, like how men are really called to be leaders, right? In the past, like before I really started walking with God, right? It'd be like, okay, like, I know I'm a man, but like in terms of when it comes to needs, what are these people doing around me to like take care of me? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you gonna make me better? Like, how you know what I'm saying? Like, how is letting you in my life, or like even if I'm like the leader, okay, I'm leading you. What can you do for me? That was more my like point of view. Just whether it was people, like things, like just life in general, like studies, classes, my business career, like anything. What can it do for me? But now, like after becoming a man of God, it's okay. Not only it's more like okay, like that's you. What can I do? One to lead you closer to God, because that's what we're called as men to do. You know what I'm saying? Be leaders in Christ, leaders draw people closer to God. So one, how can I bring you closer to God? Like two, what can like having you in my life help me do to bring us closer to God? Because like at the end of the day, like we a group, we a people. So like, what can these things do to bring all of us closer to God? What can I do in my power to help bring you closer to God? Not what can I do in my power to help make you more the person that God wants you to be. Like, how can I let God work through me to help you? That's more how my perspective has altered really in terms of just being a man of God, really. Like, what can I do for others for the glory of God?
Yeah, that's a powerful and just key point you bring up because, like you said, right, especially in terms of like marriages, like talking about men and their wives, that's a big part of being a man in this world. But it's like it's almost like a line. You have God at the center, God at the top right here. Men, we're called to submit ourselves to God,
Right.
and then in the Bible, women are called to submit to us, right?
To the husbands,
But
yeah.
they're submitted to us because we are that in between. We're the ones that are leading them closer to get to God, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're not submitting to God, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. You can't expect a woman to submit to you if you're not doing your job first, right? Men, we're called to submit first.
Yeah,
People forget that
exactly.
you're submitting to God. You know, it's just a little bit different. What
Yeah,
about
and
submitting
then
to us?
even if like just to play the contrary side, even if she were to submit to you and you're not submitted to God, what are you leading the both of y'all towards? You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You dragging everybody else down with you.
Yeah, and people forget that. You know, like the men and women, you know, we're two different people. You know, as much as people want to say we're the same, we were literally made differently. But it's a good thing. You know, like some things women are better at that men aren't good at. Some things men are good at that women aren't better at. You know, and it's a dynamic that we need each other. It's like a perfect yin and yang. You know, men we're there to at least set the president, and then the women they can fluidly work and use their intuition and their beautiful abilities and cultivate something amazing. You know, like there's two analogies I always bring up. Like for one, right? Let's say we go back to original caveman days, right? A
Hmm.
man goes out, hunts a deer, brings it back home, right? The woman, she looks at the deer, she said, okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of this, a little bit of that, mix it all up, add some hors d'oeuvres, add some fruits and vegetables, and now I made a meal to feed the whole family, right? Now, in that, they're two completely different functions, but they're both needed just as equally, right? Without the woman, the man just has a dead deer, right? The man gonna sit there like, okay, um, maybe I should try to eat it. You ate the raw meat, now you're sick, and now you're dead. You know, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's and then like you know with the women, right? Without the man, there is no deer there in the first place to be able to cultivate with, right? Men
Yeah.
were called to protect and provide. We provide, and then but the women have the just intricate and beautiful ability. That's why you know women are just so amazing. They have the intricate and beautiful ability to make do with what we provide. You know,
They
they
turn a
can
house into a home.
literally they turn a house into a home, right? They can make something shake with when it's like out of nothing. You know,
Hmm.
same thing on the flip side, right? Like, I mean, another example I always bring up is that you know, a man, right? A man might have the land. A man could create the space and can create the kind of create the acres to operate on, right? And then the woman will go out and can garden and can bring forth fruits that the man would have never known how to do, right? Man will probably, you know, lose patience or not even know that this thing needs this kind of care, this thing needs that kind of care, you know, and this, that, and the third.
Right.
That we're intricately woven and made to work together 100%. You know, man, we just got to be able to work on our end while the women works on their end as well, right? But
That's
the thing is,
valid.
for the men, we have to make that step first. We have to do
Yeah.
our job initially because we can't expect to if we don't provide, if we don't set a precedent, there's nowhere for women to work within, right? So,
Yeah.
right, and this,
It's a lot. There's a lot of rules. Well, not rules. I don't want to say, but like roles. Yeah, that's
yeah,
that like come into being a man, being a woman. I mean, but like it's just really knowing what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you can do to take care of everyone around you versus what you can't do, and what sometimes you just gotta let other people do. So when it comes to just roles or like tasks as being a man, Isaiah, what do you think the hardest thing about being a man is versus like the best thing about being a man? If you had to, if you could narrow it down to one,
then they're down to one thing.
one for each, best and worst.
Yeah, that's
Would you like me to go first? What do you think?
uh, nah. I think I can go
You got
first.
it. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I might be able to get this right.
Go ahead.
So like I said, I'm probably gonna think of a whole other answer later on. But for me, the hardest and best part of being a man are the exact same thing, but it's the avenue in which they are done, which is having responsibility and the call to lead, right?
Mm.
Sometimes it can be amazing having the ability to make decisions and work and operate in that way. It was like, okay, as a man, this is where we need to go. Let's go. Let's make this happen, right? Or having the ability to and responsibility to make that choice. Now the problem is the worst part is having to do that all the time. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It can be a lot. It can be
yeah,
a
it can
lot.
be a lot,
It
right?
can
Especially, you know, if you have to make that decision
constantly.
in some way where you're not comfortable in, right? Like
Yeah.
I said, like me growing up personally, I'm still growing. I still have problems with talking and sharing my emotions and being vulnerable, right? Well, if I want my woman to be vulnerable with me and be able to express with me, I have to be vulnerable first, right? I don't want to lead in that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to
That's
have
hard
to.
to do.
I don't have to take that, put myself out there like that. But as a man, that's what I'm called to do. Every single step of the way, I'm called to put myself out there, and take that first step, whether I want to, whether I don't. You know, and like I said,
Mhm.
it's one of those things where it's like when it's what you want it to be in. Okay, yeah, I'm happy. I can do that. But when it's stuff that you're not so comfortable with, you don't want to do. It's like, do I really want to? You know, I don't want to. I don't want to lead in this vulnerable aspect. You know, and we talking about
Yeah.
like leading in maybe like something as simple as like finding somewhere to eat, or like simple as like okay, deciding to what to do on date night for real. That's fun. That's cool
Yeah.
sometimes, right? But like I said, when it's those serious situations where like, how are we gonna fix? Okay, this thing happened with the car. This thing happened with the bills. You're the man. Where's our direction? Where are we going? It's like, okay. Now it's like, okay, now
You're
step up for real.
responsible for everybody.
Yeah, like step up for real. And you gotta, like I said, it's not all on you, right? Like men and women, it's both their decisions. Y'all come together and think about it together. But at the end of the day, as a man, it's like, okay, she's looking at you like, okay, like what are we gonna do? You're supposed to be the man of this house, right? You're supposed
Right.
to be the leader. This is what God called you to be. God created you to be this way. So
Very
step
true.
up and be the man, right? Or like I said, y'all going through communication problems, right? You're the man. You set the president. You go out there, put yourself out there first, so that you can allow the space for your wife or whoever else to be there in that space, right? And so a lot of times that hurts. A lot of times there's no return on your investment. But as a leader, you gotta set it out there no matter what. Sometimes not even received well. Sometimes you can set the precedent and be like, okay, this is what I can provide, offer, and someone could be like, okay, I'm not really okay with what you can provide, offer, and they could walk away. That's cool. We have free will, but you have to do that no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the best and hardest part for me about being a man. What about you?
I would say that the hardest part about being a man for me is kind of doing the right thing, or not necessarily like doing the right thing. Sometimes doing the right thing is the easiest thing to do, but being expected to do the right thing sometimes just because you're a man. Like sometimes being a man, like you require to be the bigger person. Like how we mentioned earlier, sometimes the best thing you can do is just walk away from something, or sometimes as the man, like you expected to be like, you know what, like we can't stand for that. Like I gotta like put my hands. Like I'm sorry to be using just fighting as a specific example, but like it can really be tough sometimes to be like, all right, like despite how I feel in this situation, I know I can't act like that because I'm seen as the man of the house. I'm just seen as the man in this situation, so I gotta be
Yeah.
self-controlled. Like
Yeah, I'm a
just stay
representative of this.
exactly. So like, I really just gotta behave in a responsible manner. That can always be hard, especially like when like emotions get involved or like personal feelings can get involved. Like, it can be so hard to just like stay in control of your emotions and not just want to lash out and just like whether it is stick up for yourself. Like sometimes you can be getting chewed out by whoever it is. Like even as a coach, sometimes like coaches can really come for your manhood sometimes, especially in football. Not most football players will get that. Sometimes, like I'm sure other sports feel like, but like sometimes like that's your coach. Like there's still a level of like authority and respect you have to accept that. Like even though you are a grown man, like sometimes you just got to get cut down and just live with it and go play the next play. Just you know what I'm saying? Like that also comes with like being a man. So like, that's I'm better at it now, but that was something really hard that I had to learn how to accept.
Some of y'all just take like
Sometimes you just got to take it on the chin.
Yeah, some of y'all take it on the cheek and turn it the cheek.
Exactly.
That's,
and then
that's very
as
tough.
far as like the best part about being a man is, for me, in my opinion, we kind of, well, I'd say in a way it's like being a leader. Not that like when women came, I'm not trying to get us canceled, right? There's only we in like the first 10 episodes. I can't get us canceled like that.
Wow.
I'm saying like just as a man, naturally, we get looked towards like to be leaders in situations, right? And depending on the situation, like or like regard, even if you're not comfortable in that situation, just because sometimes you might be the only man in the room, you might be the strongest man in the room, you might be the smartest man in the room, whatever your quality, your trait is, like you can just be looked upon as a leader. And now that's not always something I'm strongest at, even in certain situations when I'm looked at to be a leader. But it gets me out of my comfort zone. It's something that like, okay, I see like people expecting me to lead, I gotta step up and lead. How like it makes me a better leader, makes me a better man. Like just I say stepping into roles like that. Like even though it can be scary at times, even if you uncomfortable like with the situation, just sometimes like men getting looked at to lead this, or like me specifically, like in my situation when I get looked at to lead, okay, it's time. It's time to step up. It's time to take myself a step further. Like I guess it's more like the challenge that like I'm embracing really. I think like I guess I like being challenged. You know, like being able to do something that I didn't think myself personally could do.
Yeah, very famous football quote that most football players or even most athletes have heard, probably even some non-athletes have heard, but it's either nut up or shut up.
Not up or shut up.
Like you feel me? Like
For real.
Sometimes it's time to be a man, and it's interesting how like sometimes when it's time to go and do what you have to do, the sayings are involved in manly aspects, right? Like,
Right.
Like one popular term, people say, you gotta drop your nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like As vulgar as it may
Let 'em-
sound, like it sounds crazy, it's vulgar, but it's like it's time to be a
Yeah.
man. You got to
Right.
do what you got to do, and that's been part of what being a man is. So this has been a very heavy and just
Mhm.
great and deep topic. So we're gonna lighten the mood a little bit before we get into some funny scenarios to end that we're gonna kind of get into later. But we're gonna ask some real would you rather questions, lighten the mood up real quick, change up the
Flow
vibe
of the
of things.
game.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna ask you them first. You ready, Alex?
Yeah.
So the first one, would you rather have telekinesis, the ability to move things with your mind,
Okay.
or telepathy, the ability to read people's minds?
Telekinesis. I don't need to be reading y'all minds like that. I don't be wanting to know what y'all think.
That you-
Something, bro. Like,
Bro, imagine what you could do with that. Though.
nah. I'd rather control something with my mind. I'd rather look. All right. I'm gonna put in a very exaggerated scenario. Boom. We got two superheroes, one with telekinesis, one with the ability to read their mind. You walking past somebody, you read their mind, the person thinking, yeah, I'm about to blow this building up. There's like 200 people in here, I'm about to blow up the building.
Exactly.
All you did was read their mind. Now you gotta stop them. Now think of no. Okay, you don't stop them.
But look, you have the ability to stop them now. You can be the hero.
But all you did was read their mind. You still gotta physically stop them. Now to go to telekinesis, think about it. You got the bomb, or the same scenario. You wouldn't know. But if you stand right next to the bomb, or like you're in the same building as the bomb, you stand right next to the person. Boom, you see it starting to blow up. Telekinesis, stopping it, controlling it. Throw that John into the sky.
This is telekinesis.
I said it's controlling stuff with your mind.
There was no super speed. If the bomb goes, you're not gonna be able to say. Oh,
it don't matter. It don't matter.
In the middle of a half a second, let me stop this explosion. You're
okay.
dead.
Okay. Then how about this? How about this? We go.
That was a terrible scenario.
No, all right. Then I'll break it down another way. Boom. Same scenario with a gun this time. Boom. It's still a gun. You still got to stop it. You got telekinesis. Stop the bullet. Stop the bullet. Grab the gun. Pistol whip him from 10 feet away. Bop. Now he knocked out unconscious. Then boom, you disarm the gun.
Do you know how fast a bullet moves?
You know how fast telekinesis is?
Not that.
It depends on the person.
You can't even see the bullet.
Okay, but that's the odds. That's the odds. What are the odds that he shoot at you first? You know, like
because you're the one telekinesis.
Anyways, I'm guessing you arguing me, so I'm guessing you disagree.
No, I actually agree. I don't. I just don't agree with your reasoning for it. Your reasoning was very, very flawed, but I 100%
I don't think it's flawed.
Better move things with your mind. You don't gotta get up to go get a remote across across the room.
Where you can turn on the PlayStation from the couch.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You could sit in the kitchen and cook without even having to get up and cook. Just put the stuff together and all that.
Bring it back to you, make sure it ain't burnt.
Yeah, you feel me? You just make life a lot simpler and a lot easier. You know, like I said, like what I think there will be certain aspects to telepathy. Like, okay, you can know how really people really feel despite what they tell you and what they think. I mean, despite what they tell you how they really feel, how they really think. That could be kind of interesting. Like, okay, I see what type of time he or she is really on. Like, okay, I didn't know they felt that way. You know?
Yeah, but
like apply. But then the flip side was like, they say something that they really feel a certain way that you don't like. You're like, dang, I thought that was my guy. You know what I mean? Like you might be disappointed or hurt by certain things they hear or saying. You know, I don't.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments which one y'all would pick.
Yes, I don't know. I see both sides, but me personally, I think it'd be a lot less stress to have telepathy.
Absolutely, 100%.
And then we got one more question before we continue this episode. Would you rather be forced to sing along or dance along to every single song you hear?
Dance. But this is a Christian podcast. So,
wow.
Listen. So this is what I'm gonna say. One, you don't know what lyrics in them songs. Like you could say, yeah, I want to sing every song, but you don't know what song you about to hear on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter what the scenario is. You could be any song, but I feel like if you sing that, you're gonna get looked at crazy. At least if you dancing, you can't control the fact that you gotta dance, but you can probably control how you dance. I'm not that great of a dancer personally, so I know, regardless of the scenario, regardless of the situation, I'm gonna be embarrassed.
But you still gotta dance to every song. You know what kind of song can come on.
You don't, but guess what? I'm gonna still be on beat though.
Says who?
Me. I got rhythm. That's about it. I can't dance, but I got rhythm. I'm gonna be on beat.
How you not dance got rhythm?
But I'm just not good at doing the moves. But I still got rhythm.
The
I could do a
that
little,
is snake,
little
is that-
two step. Yeah, exactly. Bro, you see me.
No,
All
don't.
I'm doing is just proving myself right.
I don't. You're not proving yourself.
So
right.
you'd rather sing to everything.
If you have rhythm, then you can dance. If you don't have rhythm,
I got
you
rhythm.
can't dance.
I got rhythm. I can't dance.
There is no I got rhythm, I can't dance. Nigga,
It is. It is. I can do my little two step. You know, I can.
Yeah, nah, you just can't dance.
I
buddy.
love this. All right. So what is you picking?
It's very tough, but I probably also say dance, just cause like every single circumstance, right? Like I ain't gonna be feeling like singing that. Like, bro, imagine you at like some kind of like event. There's music playing the entire time, right?
Ski
Would
in the
you rather
background.
be known for dance? That's the thing. Like, bro, imagine you got to dance to that.
We don't say how you got to dance though. It don't say how you got.
It doesn't matter how you dance. You're dancing to it.
I've seen people dance to that song in general, like everybody, men and women.
There's no general
Just because they be,
that.
if you see me, you're trying to see what's up. They don't be, you know. But that's besides. I'm just saying, I think it'd be a lot easier to like accept the fact that you got to dance every song than sing it, because like you know, you can.
In fact, I changed my answer. I'm going to sing.
Ah.
Because the same way you said, no. Because since you said it does, you can sing it, you can dance a certain way. You can sing a certain way. I might sing under my breath. I might sing real quiet.
Nah,
or you know what? Or I might hum. Humming is a part of singing. And so
Okay, then I'm gonna just nod my head then.
No,
I'm gonna just
no,
nod my
your
head.
head is not dancing.
It's a form of dancing.
No, it is not.
It is.
It's not a form of dancing.
Yeah, because if you're not
Nodding
nodding your
is a
head,
form
you're not
of-
dancing.
It's a form of
Yes, it is.
communication, right?
No,
if I'm like, ask what's up, you go like this.
Because they be like, bro, they be in the club, they be listening to the beat, the song, and all we always be in the back. Just
that don't mean we dancing. Just because you're doing it don't mean you're dancing.
it don't matter. All right, we dragging this. Come on, let's go. All right, let's.
All right, now we gonna get to some scenarios, right, and some ethical questions that got to do with the world and landscape today. You good?
Yeah, I'm just laughing at us, honestly.
All right, yeah. So, the first thing I want to cover is what is your opinion on the sassy movement today?
Okay. So basically, we can give a little bit of context to this, just for like maybe not everybody part of our generation.
Yeah,
Just like the sassy movement more is just like, from the ways I've experienced it, is just like men like expressing themselves. It's like, dang, like why he so sassy? But in the meantime, all you did was just like express how you feel in the moment. Like I remember, bro, there was a time like going back to this question. Me and Isaiah, but this semester we both thrown for the track team, right? But we just thrown. I forget what the song. I was real life just singing a song, just 'cause like it came into my head. Cause like we love it when sassy men are around. I was like, dang, I can't sing a song. Like it's really just like, I say like sassy is really, in my opinion, it's really just like men just like saying how they feel, but because they speaking on how they feel, it's deemed as sassy because you know they just sometimes supposed to just sit there and take it.
Yeah, but see, the idea of the sassy movement is like sassy means you're acting in a very feminine way, which obviously is different from masculine, and people that have been you gave them an inch and they've been taking a mile with the sassy movement, calling things sassy. Like the other day I saw they said if you're a man, you sleep on your stomach, you're sassy because you're not able to like. Because you'll be unable to like protect your family if somebody broke into your house. I'm like, what? I can't sleep on my stomach. Now, granted, right? I'm a back sleeper. I sleep on my back.
I don't like sleeping on my stomach.
But still, like, there's some times where like I'll turn over, you know, I might hold the pillow right here, you know what I'm saying, and just go to sleep. But now that's sassy, right? I think there's a list, like, because I remember the most prominent ones, not all the ones. There's one that was like, if you're a man, if you have an umbrella, you're sassy.
No, that's crazy. I can't stay dry.
Right, exactly. Right. Man, you're supposed to put on a hood. You're supposed to take the water, take the rain.
You're supposed to give her the jacket and the shirt. You're supposed to walk out there in your chest.
Yeah,
let your hair get wet. Let your
they like what you went to the west. You're supposed to be strongest in water. You know what I'm saying? There's another one that said if you're a man with a portable charger, you're sassy.
You got one of those.
I have one. I have, and I walk around with it proudly. And guess what? Yeah. Everybody be asking to use it.
Okay. So do you think you're sassy?
No, not at all.
All right.
I understand. Do you think you're sassy?
Nah.
Okay,
not
cool,
a chance.
But like certain things happen, certain people like, oh, that might be sassy. That's sad. Like there are some things that are a part of the sassy movement today that I do agree with, but the majority of them, no, that's just outright like just wrong. Like they said, what's that? I saw one that said if you drink out of a bendy straw, you're sassy.
I ain't never seen that one. That's funny. I drink out of a bendy straw with pride. One, that's all our cafeteria got.
You're supposed to drink out of it with the cup.
But nah, because I can't trust. my friends that work in the restaurant, bro, they put me on. Sometimes they don't always be cleaning up things, you know, so I don't be feeling right
But
putting my
look, but
lips.
as a man,
Regardless, let's get into the next one.
yeah.
All right, because I thought of this the other day. So, do you feel like men is always supposed to make the first move? We talked about it earlier, like a little bit. We brushed upon it, but
Yes, we did. Do I think? No. Do I advise? Yeah, but the same way that like men feel a certain way and they have the desire to make a move. I mean, women like y'all are people too, right? Like I'm not like just because you make the first move doesn't mean you're going to be the man in the relationship. The
Yeah.
man has to play his role, but if you see something you like, go talk, go see what's up with it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like women so
shoot or
afraid.
shoot,
Right,
shoot or
right,
shoot.
all right. And the thing is, right, with females, I promise you, a woman's shot rate is going to be
Way higher than
astronomically higher than what any man could be. You know what I'm saying? Just
Mhm.
because that's just how like things go. Like
Yeah.
double standards are a real thing, right? Like women, there's a man that probably didn't even look at you because they're like, oh, she's out of my league, and they wouldn't even think of talking to you, but the whole time they might like you, and you'll go press them like, oh my god, what? And then or they wouldn't even see you know you like that before, and just because you took time to press them and talk to them, they might go for that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like they probably more likely to be interested in you too. Just I'm not out here just trying to get a relationship advice, but I'm saying like me personally, like if a girl came up to me as opposed to me like walking up to her, I'd be like, oh, like you had the confidence to come up to me in general speak. Okay,
Yeah, I'm about to say, oh, like you cool as I don't know what. Like, what's up? Let's talk. You feel me? And like, and like on top of that, it's like people like associate making the first move with like you're gonna set the precedent for the rest of the relationship, right? Oh, forever that means I like him more. That forever means I gotta run things, I gotta do things. No, it's not how that works. Making the first move is just starting it. That's just opening the gate. Once you get into the gate, then y'all figure out everything else together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But making the first move, 100%. Anybody can make the first move. Matter of fact, I advise more women to make the first move. 100%. I promise y'all. If y'all the way y'all reject men, I promise y'all success rate will be a lot higher than we are. And y'all, there's no man out there that's gonna be just trashing or bashing a female for trying to press them, trying to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Men don't operate that way.
Yeah, we not like y'all. We not like y'all. But I just see some people, you know what I'm saying, like
Man,
like a dude walking up to her, she's like, ew. You know what I'm saying? Like even if a dude don't think you attractive, you walking, he not gonna be.
You seen that video on Twitter where the guy like walked up behind the girl like trying to talk to her in the club and she screamed?
That's ignorant.
I tell you, I would go home. I would probably never leave the house again. Like that would shatter my entire
no man ever
confidence
gonna do
and all that.
Yeah,
no man never gonna do that. But so on top of the sassy movement, right? There's another big thing going on social media right now where it's like, you ever seen a list of the first date places or not to go to?
Yeah, right? I seen it a while ago. I saw some of the restaurants, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't agree with all of them.
I'm gonna pull out. I got a list.
Give me like the top 5.
There's a larger list right here, right? But there's a larger list, but I got a list numbers 1 to 28, right? So, and honestly, some of them I agree with. Some places I don't think should be first dates.
In my opinion, though, the only place that really shouldn't be no first date, like if we truly just going out, is like this is a place to eat, right? So like if we
it's a place to eat and just places in general. Like most of them are places to eat though.
Okay. I was about to say if it's purely when it comes to first dates, I'd say the only thing I really don't like is movies, and then going to like a bummy like fast food place. Those are the only 2 things I don't really.
What is a bummy fast food place?
Like McDonald's. Not like McDonald's food is good, but I'm saying if you're going on a date, yeah, sure, I'm gonna take you out to McDonald's. We gonna sit down in the restaurant. I'm gonna real good. I'm gonna let you get the Big Mac and an 8-piece McNugget. What did you want, bro? Like that ain't right.
So really just fast food in general.
Like I like Wendy's, get a little $5 biggie bag. So now I'm playing.
You're gonna say, whoa, Wendy's and not McDonald's is crazy work.
I'm playing. Work, right? That's a joke.
Alright, so for me personally, look at this list.
Yeah, I don't know all the names.
There's a couple that I don't agree with, right?
Go ahead.
I don't agree with the movies. I don't agree with your house. Any fast food chain.
House is valid.
I can agree with that. House is valid.
No, I'm saying like it's valid that you disagree with it.
Oh, I disagree with the gym. I disagree with church. I disagree with family functions. It's crazy. I disagree with movie night. Other than that, also probably nightclubs and hookah bars, right? Because I don't really.
Bro, I done seen something online that was like, bro, like 12, 15 people got herpes because they went to a hookah bar.
I haven't heard.
I'd never go there,
First of all,
like ever.
that's insane. Like we don't even associate with those kind of environments, right?
We
As,
do
as,
not. We do
as young
not.
Christian men,
We it is not
you feel me?
advising none of y'all to go there if you.
As a matter of fact, and they said as men smoke hookah is gay. I mean, not gay, sassy. I mean,
Next question. So no, all
we
right.
need to
But
cut that out of the
let's speak
podcast.
on this first.
No,
Let's
but
speak
but,
more into
right?
the first date though.
Yeah, but like so, right? Because the reason why I don't agree with those places, right, is because a first date is a first date, right? Y'all might have texted a little bit,
They
talked
gotta
on the
get to
phone,
know
whatever.
each other.
Right? Y'all need time to sit and talk to each other, right? If y'all are at the movies, y'all are watching a movie, right? It's gonna be weird. Y'all gonna be trying to force being cut it up, and it's something like, bro, y'all should be there, folks, learning about each other, laughing. Now, maybe
Right.
now, if it's a two-parter, if it's like a movie and a date, now that is a splendid idea, right? Y'all know,
Splendid.
you know what I'm saying? Because that way y'all can watch something, y'all have something to talk about, and y'all can use the movie to pick each other's brains and see how each other thinks, for real,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, everybody got the facilities for that. So, also, your house should not be going to the crib on the first date. Crazy.
We know what type of time you want, and that's really what.
You know that time
that
you
ain't
want. And two, like, why are you so cool with this stranger knowing where you? This your first date. Why are you cool like this?
Couldn't be me.
You're like that's a random person knowing where you live now, knowing your crib, like you have
Where
a,
your room at?
You're like,
Don't know. It could not be me.
you feel me? Have some standards. You feel me? Like they like, you know what I'm saying? Like stand
Hold on.
up.
I do got a follow up question though, like going more into these scenarios. So like, cause we talking more about first dates. I feel like typically first date, it's like expected for the man to pay. Do you agree with that, or what is your opinion like on always the idea of like the man should pay?
I'll say this, right? I was raised and I was told from the jump, a man should always pay for the first date. And I 100% agree with that. But
But
if the woman asks the man out on the first date, she should expect to pay for the first date. I'm not saying
that's gonna be very controversial, but
very,
I agree.
Very controversial.
I agree.
I don't care. I'm standing on business. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I said, like, granted, right? Will she pay for the first date? That depends on the man, right? Like, for me, even if a girl asks me on the first date, she's like, expect to pay, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm still the man. I got it, right? Regardless, right? Because I'm a man, right? But some men, but the women should be ready. The pill come out, she should be pulling out her wallet because she asked to go on that date, right? Because more times than not, we're used to the men typically asking the woman to go on a date, right? And in that case, you should always pay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying usually, like I said, most men, you should want to pay for that first date.
Yeah.
But it is not ridiculous, and I think it should be more looked at that if a woman asks the man out, she should be ready to pay for that date. Because the idea is the man agreed and she's setting that precedent. You know what I'm saying?
Because I can speak to that personally. So I remember there was a time. This was a few summers back, right?
Ooh.
There was I went on a date with this one girl. Like you said, we went out. We went and got something to eat, and then we went to the movies, right? But regardless though, she actually she asked me out, or you know what I'm saying, like, hey, like you want to go? I was like, yeah, sure. Like I don't got nothing better to do. Let's go, do it. Boom, I paid for everything, right? Now that wasn't the issue, cause like you know what I'm saying, like that's how I was raised too. You feel what I'm saying? But bruh, well, one besides that, we just wasn't really clicking. But this ain't why, you know what I'm saying? But like,
oh man,
bruh,
now the real nitty gritty.
I'm saying when the
out.
checks came out, she ain't even flinched to like, you know what I'm saying? She just like sat on her phone, scrolled. I was like, I guess I got it then. I'm like,
Oh my, that's an.
I'm just like, that's a red flag.
I'm gonna cut you off, my brother, but that's an extreme red flag, right? Like as a woman,
go ahead.
Like, look, even if you don't even got it, you should at least fake to your purse. At least fake like you about to pay for it.
I was gonna pay. I was gonna pay regardless.
It's not even
about.
She ain't even. Right. It's not even about the fact you didn't pay. It's about how you went about it, right? If the bill come out, you like.
That's what I'm saying. You could at least be
like, you put it like that. Now I'm like, hold on, whoa, don't do that. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's levels, right?
Yeah,
or like when the bill come out, you just like you look around, you're like, oh, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. And I was like, just leave. So I was like, I gotta pay. Now I'm like, okay, you ain't had to act like that, right? I was gonna pay regardless and make sure, but just have some decorum, have some respect about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. Because I feel like that's a thing that definitely gets.
As a first date, not as much, but that's more so like second and third, like later on dates in general, right? First date, man, gonna pay regardless.
Yeah,
but
for
just
sure.
the way you go about it.
But then, okay, so yeah, like I'd say, like once the relationship develops more, it don't really matter who pays, as long as like both people like caring for each other. There's ways around that. But I feel like that kind of goes into like chivalry, right? Like sometimes it's like the man can be expected to pay. Like that can be taken advantage of a lot. So like when it comes to chivalry, like I know because we was having this conversation earlier or a few days ago. It was talking about like always opening the door for like a woman, like whether she getting into the car, walking into a building. So like, do you think you do these things because you like to, you want to trigger it, or like do you do it more because like you worry not to do it because like, oh no, she don't see me as chivalrous now because that's what a man's supposed to do. She not gonna like me no more.
Yeah. I think
Like you
certain
feel like you have to.
actions garner certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's honestly a real question, right? There's a lot of things in this world that like, do we do them because we really want to do them, or because it's the social right thing to do, or
Yeah.
because socially we'll be frowned upon if we didn't do them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like open the door for a woman, I want to do that regardless, right? Or like we walking down the street,
Yeah.
you know, they make sure I'm in between the street and her. Like that's just proper, this etiquette. That's just like safety, being protector provider.
Very true.
But I think some other aspects of chivalry, it's like
Oh, like you know, when
like
you at church, you gotta get up, you let everybody walk out the aisle, and then you walk behind them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's always something I had to do. Like if I was sitting in the end of the road, like my family sitting like to my right, like on the inside of the pew, like I get up, and my mom and my sisters, like everybody walk out, and then I walk behind them. Chivalry.
okay, yeah, okay, so like that, right? That's just being protective, right? But like, if there's a puddle,
I'm not laying down on the ground so you
I'm
can step on my back to get over that puddle.
and I'm not
You
putting
better
my
just walk
like
around that jump.
like I picked out this
Jump.
jacket to help me look good, to help us look good out together. Why was
I
stepping on my
told you
face?
it was gonna be cold.
The same way the same. Now look, right? In certain situations, okay, certain situations I can understand. Okay, I might I might take my jacket off and help you, but most times, right? Like so that's like a crazy thing. First couple of dates. But if we deep into a deep relationship, I'm like, you saw the weather just like I did. You got the weather app on your phone. Do you not? Is that not a is that not an app that comes on with every single phone? The weather app.
We gonna get canceled.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
probably is.
Let's get into a few more before we
All
wrap
right,
this
all
up.
right, sorry. So go on to that, right? To kind of go back to the paying idea, right? Would you be okay with your wife making more money than you?
Yeah, 'cause
Like y'all are going on these dates, and she's honestly like, okay, I got you. Be like, all right, no, like I'm the
yeah.
one making the money. Like
Okay.
so I'm like I'm like she's courting you at that point.
All
Would you
right.
be
So
okay with
like,
that?
is she making like? Am I like broke? Like I'm making no money, or it's like I'm still making like my bread? Like I want to be. I'm gonna just say 6 figure. Boom, putting out flat. Like I'm making 6 figures. She making like 250K. I'm making like 100K. Is it something like that, or is it like I'm
Two
making?
people 6 figures. Good God, Alex.
Hey, bro,
Can we?
me and my wife, we coming for it all. We coming for it all.
Okay,
Like,
let's talk about both
or
aspects,
like
right?
let's like
Okay, I'm talking about both. So one aspect, right? You broke you down bad. She's like, I got you, but I'm gonna take care of you till you get back on your feet.
Mhm.
But she's like, just taking care of you. Another one is like, okay, maybe you make like 40, 50K, and she's making 100K.
Well, as far as like, I really feel like it depends. If I love my job and I'm only making 40, 50K, and you making all that much money, that's cool. So long as like we still like putting it together. But like, what comes with that? You know what I'm saying? Is she paying more for the house? Like, can you still like as the man, you supposed to have like the final word? You know what I'm saying? Like, she paying more for the house. Like, it's her house. You just living in it.
Man,
At that
like,
point,
now do this. Well, I think since I pay the bills, that we should.
she got that right. You know, and
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, though, like it's still, if it's in a respectful way, bro, I'd be cool with it. Even if I'm making like all my money, she making all her money, like regardless, I think I'd be cool because like that's money that's essential in terms of like being able to provide for the family, the kids, everything like that. So like it'd be cool, but like it's just if you're gonna be throwing it in my face, like talking about like right, like yeah, I make more money than you, like this my crib, like this my car, you know, these my clothes that I bought for you, then like I don't need that. You can go somewhere with that. That you ain't for me.
And then not to add on an extreme to that situation, right? Could you be a house husband? Right?
Me personally, I couldn't.
Like this, like I said, you're talking about your wife is like money, like you're like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
rich, like you don't gotta worry about things. Like just stay home, take care of the kids, cook, clean, take care of the crib while I'm out there, bring it home to bacon.
Yeah, me personally, I couldn't just because like I don't think that's going.
Wow.
Like it just wouldn't. I wouldn't be like happy doing that. Like I mean, yeah, like I know there's roles to be played. I mean, okay, like maybe I am like taking care of the kids, or maybe I am like cooking, taking care of the house, man, I'm getting them to school, like all that stuff. Like, am my wife truly making the money? But like, me personally, like I need to do something. I need to work, like feel, like provide in other ways, but like I just wouldn't be able to be content with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, okay? But I'm just saying for me personally, how I function, how I live, like how I help, like my own self. I wouldn't be able to settle for just being a house husband. I wouldn't be able to just stay in the crib, vacuum. I don't even think I'd really want like a housewife. Like I'd want a woman that's yeah, like it's always helpful to have like a parent around, especially when the kids are young. Like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying like when they grown, like they all in high school, you still just think like I want my wife to be able to, again, like I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just like what I prefer, like from a woman myself. Like just someone who has their own hustle. Like it don't got to be nothing crazy. You don't got to be working. Like as long as we both happy with what we doing in the work, like we both trying to make each other better and ourselves better. We always following God. I'm always gonna be cool with it, regardless of the money, like the income. But like I don't want that for me, and I don't think I necessarily want that from a wife. Respectfully, I'm not bashing it. I'm not ridiculing it. I'm just saying for me personally, what
Respect.
get respect. How you feel?
I don't care.
By which one?
Either of them.
Oh really?
Like yeah, like I said, like of course it depends on how my wife would go about it. But if she's
It
really,
do,
like
it do.
like I said, like as long as she's like respectful, still respects me as a man, all this that, and the third, right? And we recognize that like both of our roles are equal. Like yeah, she brings home the money, but I'm still able to cultivate and run the household. Like if that's what she wants to do. I mean, like I said, I'm just able to just be there with my kids, just enjoy all the other stuff. I mean, hey.
Hmm.
It
I
is
mean,
what
yeah,
it is,
it's
right?
cool.
And like I said, now, granted, I'm saying that now, being in that moment, I probably will start to like feel inadequate, like not doing nothing and not working. So I might eventually, I'll definitely have to pick up some kind of hobby or side hustle or something to do, right?
Hmm.
But like,
I'll probably just go around and be a coach or something.
yeah, right, be a coach, something like that, right? Just something small like that. But
Be Billy
I think,
Baker, All American.
right, right, exactly, right. Or I would be able to choose like follow some other passion or something I never thought I could do before. But I mean, you'll see some getting adjusted to. It'd be a little different. It wouldn't be advised, but that situation, I think I could operate within that.
Having
And
like a
then
housewife.
no, I was talking about being a house husband.
Oh, okay, okay.
Now having a housewife, I would love that. Not
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
like
Let me not say not love it. Like I want my wife not to do nothing.
yeah,
But if I got like that, right? I'm like, nah, I don't want you to work. Why are you adding extra stress onto your life? Why are you working? Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
Like off some like, okay, I got this, babe. Like don't worry about none of that. You feel me? I got this. You can stay home, chill, be with the kids, make sure they all straight and all that. Matter of fact, you want to go start a business, you want to have a little side hustle or something you want to start up, I got you. I'm gonna cover that for you. Like
That's cool. Yeah,
as a
that's
man,
cool.
like they as me, I got that. My wife don't gotta worry about nothing.
That's cool. Honestly, yeah, I can agree with that. Like even like I said, like I wasn't bashing having a housewife, but if you got your own side hustle, like you working towards something, you're not just being lazy at like that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So long as we still got goals, we working towards something we trying to build as a family. That's all. Hey, that's all I can ask for at the end of the day.
INDEPENT.
You see, that's why you pick singing every song. I ain't have to say all that. I ain't have to say all that.
See,
But
you
anyways,
should start busting the movies now. 'Cause I was singing it.
nah. But anyways, nah. But yeah, that's about to wrap it up for us, guys. We appreciate y'all for sticking through with us, especially if you was a woman, because we know this one was more for like the guys. So like, if y'all made it through this, for everybody that made it through this, we appreciate y'all.
Woman, I promise we got y'all coming soon, man. Look, I got you. We got you.
Especially for real. So we appreciate y'all once again. Special shout out to our boy Salim behind the camera. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've been I.A Christianated. We was your host. I was Alex.
And I'm Isaiah.
We'll catch y'all later.